And what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jet Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy before you end up like Beezy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch, man, in the description down below. Make sure y'all subscribe to my second channel. Like I said, y'all, bro, we will be uploading on the second channel tonight. You know what I'm saying? I know, bro, that, people got to go to work tomorrow. I know people got to wake up, you know what I'm saying, to go to school. So, I won't be having them. I think the last time I live streamed on Twitch, bro, was like at 2 o'clock. I had like, 15 viewers in there, bro. It's ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? A lot to you, bro. I just really just like upload on Twitch, really, because I'm finna just upload it on my second channel, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to stream whoever in there, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm going to just be me regardless, you know what I'm saying? F the views, really. But if y'all do want to come tune in, like I said, I am going to be live. I did lie to y'all again about going live Friday. I know y'all be like, but this boy be lying. He just said he was going to go live. Why you not lying? I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a liar. That's the thing. I'm not a liar. You feel me? Actually, I had to ask for forgiveness about that. You know what I'm saying? I had to repent for that. You know what I mean? Because I feel so convicted just lying about the littlest things. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter about if it could be this small, bro. And I feel so convicted, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I just cannot lie. I'd rather shut up than just tell a lie. Like, it's like when I lie, I just feel inside, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel yucky inside. Like I feel like I'm filled with garbage. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? It disgusts me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, being, I don't know how I used to lie like that when I was younger, bro. Like, it was crazy. Not even younger. Even in my teenage years, I used to lie. But godly, I used to lie. You know what I mean? But God has cleansed me from lying, and I am a new man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, subscribe to the second channel. But we got 4 disturbing, true trespassing horror stories. I know y'all love the scary stories, man. And this is a very interesting topic right here. Trespassing. Like I said, I bring them up all the time. Little man, hey man, I miss my gang, man. I miss my dude, man, Reagan Howard, man. You know what I mean? Reagan, man, if you're watching this, man, I think about you, man, a lot, man. That was, if y'all don't know, for all the new people, man, that was my, bro, I don't have a lot of best friends, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of dudes that like rare. You feel me? But my boy Gavin Cruz, my boy Reagan Howard, you know what I'm saying? I'll say Key the Freak. You know what I'm saying? But we grown now. I don't call niggas best friends. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, Keon's my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Heck nah. You feel me? But that's my homie for sure, like my brother. You feel me? But there's only 3 that I can really say like really was like my brothers, bro. And Reagan, bro, white dude. You know what I'm saying? White dude, man. Was a very good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we used to do the craziest junk, bro. Like, I swear, like, trespassing like this, man. I remember like it was yesterday, bro. I'm talking about, bro, the stuff that we did, like, we can get killed for that today. Like, bro, we can go to jail and do, like, bro, that is serious. Like, we used to literally, like, go in people's backyard and terrorize their dogs. Like, bro, we used to be in people's backyard like it was our yard. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, trespassing, like, on people's property. Like, we didn't give a F, bro. And just terrorizing their dogs. My boy Reagan said he seen, because we used to jump over this gate, and he had a little hole through the gate. My boy Reagan said he seen a dude, bro, pointing a gun, bro, through the freaking hole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was that serious, bro. We used to just do stuff that we can get in serious trouble for, bro. That little white boy was bad. I never met somebody that was worse than me. I was a bad kid growing up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just like evil. I was malicious, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I loved him so much. I never thought I'd meet somebody that was worse than me. It was like 2 leaders together. We wasn't following. He wasn't following me. I wasn't following him. We wasn't making each other do anything. We just both wanted to be malicious, bro. And we was, bro. That was my dog, man. Reagan was my dog, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But that's why I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up around white people, bro. Black, white, whatever. That's why I'll be like, bro, you can't make me hate white people. That man family, bro, treated me like family, bro. Never felt any type of way, bro. Going around that man. That man hung around a number of black folks. It was me, Wolanski, bro, and Joseph. That's all he hung around with, bro. He ain't hang around no white folks, gang. You know what I'm saying? So that's all was in the house. In this crib, Mr. Greg Howard, Sandra Howard. You know, I remember the white folks, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very kind, bro. So that's why I'm like, bro, you can't make me hate white people. I met some good white folks, bro. Most love that I ever received in my life was from white people, bro. The most hate that I receive is from black people. They say it's the white man. You know what I mean? That's what they love saying, y'all. It be the white people, the white people, the white people. I don't experience that. I don't see what you're saying. White people kind to me. It be them black people that be, you know what I'm saying? Just saying, but I just keep it real, bro. I don't be seeing what y'all be saying.
Deep into backstory, nor disclose too much personal information.
It's backwards for me.
But I'll just come right out and say it, that I've always been a reclusive person, ever since I was a young kid. I didn't have many friends at all, and I spent most of my time playing video games on the computer, or varying consoles I grew up with. As I got older, like high school, I started to get into just going on long walks exploring. I'd walk through the woods, walk through cemeteries, and then I developed an obsession with trespassing, going places I wasn't supposed to be. It started with sneaking into cemeteries at night, then I started getting more experimental with it, like exploring abandoned hospitals and schools. When I was finally able to drive, it made accessing all these places much easier, of course. I only went with one of my few friends once or twice. Honestly, I enjoyed it more by myself. Part of my weirdness includes the fact that I don't get scared exploring abandoned places at night by myself. Or perhaps I should use past tense and say, I didn't used to get scared. How I used to find a lot of abandoned structures was simpler than you might think. I would just go on Google Earth and zoom into rural areas. Then I would look for abandoned-looking structures in unsuspecting places. I would then make a list of 5 to 10 locations of these structures and try to visit them all in one day. Sometimes they wouldn't be abandoned at all, but I eventually got pretty good at gauging which ones would be. This hobby involved a lot of walking through woods, and yes, before you ask, I did have a job. I worked a minimum wage job as a stock boy at a supermarket, so when I wasn't
finna ask that, you know what I mean? I was just thinking you was a weird little freak, you know what I'm saying? That's all I was thinking. I wouldn't think you have a job, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, doing this while you little, that stuff we do when we little. You in high school, you know? So you one of them weird silent kids that be in class. That's you, huh? That be wearing them little weird little clothes. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Them little weird kids that don't say a word in school. That's one of them. That's him. That's that nigga. Cause I ain't never, trust me, bro. I was malicious. I was evil. You feel me? But just going searching abandoned buildings, that never crossed my mind ever in my lifetime. You know what I mean? We did a whole lot of trespassing, but, you know, like, I was never on something. Yeah, let's go explore abandoned hospitals, you know? Let's go walk through the cemetery, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I just wasn't that kid, but everybody like different things. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes people unique, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, got some people, he ain't the first one that I've heard that actually like exploring abandoned places, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Bad or in
people just like what they like.
A lot of time I was doing this. One of the places on my list one day turned out to be an abandoned little church. I had to park on a dirt road and get out of my car to walk. It was about a 10-minute walk. I'd always wear jeans and boots so that I travel faster through the woods without hurting myself. I started noticing old, rusted garbage cans and other junk scattered in the woods, indicating I must have been close. And I saw the clearing in the distance approaching, along with the structure. And there it was, some dilapidated old church sitting in a random clearing in the woods. It had an old well right in front of the building. I walked over to it to see if it had been sealed, but surprisingly it hadn't been. I looked down, and it was so deep that it was pitch black down there. When I stopped and listened though, I heard something down there.
See, I don't like doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, even though I would never jump into the well, y'all ever got this little evil, like little thing in your head? Jump in that well. Jump in that well. Bro, so it's like, I know I'm not gonna jump in the well, but it just be this little voice. Jump in it. Just jump in it. Yeah, it ain't gonna jump in that well. Just jump in that. Like, especially like, say if I get on something high, jump. I'm like, what is this voice in my head telling me to jump? Like, I'm telling you, the devil be real. When you be on roller coaster ride, unbuckle that seatbelt. Just jump off. It's safe for you to jump off. It's safe for you just to jump. Just unbuckle that seat. Just jump off. Just jump, nigga. Well, I'm telling you, but the devil be trying to kill me. You feel me? Am I the only one that has that malicious voice in my head? You feel me? Let me would have been by that well. Jump in that well. Jump in that well.
It was a faint clicking sound. It happens like on a rhythm. One click after 2 seconds. It didn't sound like water droplets. The best I could describe it is a stick being tapped on a stone wall. Curious, I stared down for longer than I probably should have, kind of like I was hypnotized by the sound. But eventually, I broke out of my daze and decided to go inside the church. I stepped onto the creaking wood porch, and the rotted boards gave slightly under my weight. The large double doors were ajar, not surprising. Out of all the abandoned structures I'd visited, unless it was a very well-known one posted frequently in subreddits, there wouldn't really be anyone boarding these places up.
Just saying, bro, like, what you doing this for? Like, are you looking for gold? I just want to know, what's your purpose? Just for fun? You know what I'm saying? What is your purpose? Like, is it gold? You gotta be looking for some gold or something. It gotta be some diamonds or something. It's something that you looking for. Ain't no way you just doing this for fun, bro. Ain't no way.
I pushed one door open further, which led to a loud groan that echoed through the trees.
Ain't no way, Jose.
The air inside was thick with dust and the scent of old wood.
Hey, no.
Light poured through the shattered stained glass windows. Some of the pews were overturned or missing entirely. The pulpit stood crooked at the front, and behind it, an arched doorway led further into darkness. I did the usual, scanned the inside with my flashlight and took a few pictures from my archive on my digital camera. There was an eerie beauty to the decay, a holy place like a church in near ruin. It was beautiful but tragic. I walked slowly toward the back of the church where the arched doorway was. I stepped through it and found a narrow hallway that led to what looked like old storage rooms. One door was missing entirely, and the others were splintered or hanging off their hinges. Cobwebs clung to the ceiling everywhere, and then I saw at the end of the hallway was a stairway leading down into the basement. Jackpot, I thought. Like I said, I used to not let anything scare me. Nothing within reason, at least. Something about exploring abandoned basements excited me. But this time, something about that basement door hanging open, leading to the darkness below, made me pause. I honest to God got a slight chill. But I kept going.
What's your gut feeling?
I started down the stairs slowly, and each step creaked so loud that I feared I'd fall through the wood. And then, I counted 7 steps until my right foot landed on one that gave way with a loud crack, and before I could react, it collapsed under me. I fell hard and landed in a pile of junk and dirt below the stairs. I fell directly on my ass and hurt my tailbone. I let out some kind of audible complaint, probably a "God damn it" or something. My flashlight flew out of my hand, so I crawled over to grab it. That was when I heard a voice. It was a higher-pitched sounding voice, either a woman or a young boy. It was saying words, but I couldn't understand any of them except for one thing. They said hello. The rest was gibberish, like someone trying to talk but didn't know how. I stood up and pointed the flashlight around. It was just an old basement, some busted furniture, mostly cots, a dirt floor, stone walls, but then I saw a tunnel in the wall. It looked like it was dug out by hand. As I approached it, I realized the voice was coming from down there. I started walking toward it. I was being dumb, but I had to know what it was. I stepped just a couple of steps inside the tunnel and looked around. The walls were rough, not smooth. It had definitely been dug out with a shovel by hand. My flashlight started flickering, and I nearly had a heart attack. I hit it a few times, and it stayed on. Doing so made a louder noise than I anticipated, though. The voice got louder, still just gibberish with that same weird tone, but I could now confirm it was coming from deeper inside this tunnel. And then it stopped. Everything was quiet for a few seconds. Then I heard a click. 2 seconds later, another click. Same rhythm and sound as the well, and the sound echoed. These clicks and the gibberish echoing voice were getting louder. My heart was now in my throat, so I turned and ran back. I reached the stairs and remembered one of the steps was broken. I found it easier to grab the sides of the stairs and pull myself up, instead of trying to hop over the broken step. My flashlight dropped, but it didn't matter.
Flashlight!
I was leaving the basement back to the light of the upstairs. I got to the top and didn't look back. I ran through the hallway, through the main room, and out the front doors. I ran past the well and stopped for a second. The clicking sound was gone. There was no noise at all. Come to think of it, it was dead silent. I didn't even hear any birds. I looked down the well one more time. Still pitch blackness. With that, I turned and ran through the woods, making it to my car much faster than I made it to the church, albeit completely out of breath. I cut the day short and didn't explore the other places on my list. This was just one of those experiences where you don't know what to think, and you just drive home in silence with the music off. I didn't give up my hobby of exploring entirely, but I took a break. I was admittedly very spooked. I hope it was just some other kids exploring in there trying to mess with people, but I don't know. When I think about it, that sounds really unlikely.
Yeah, bro, you could have been some paranormal. I wholeheartedly believe in the paranormal for sure. You know, because it was coming from the well and then it started, you know. I believe in that paranormal, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't play with that ish, man. You know what I mean? Abandoned places and all that, man. I'm cool off that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
This happened to me a while ago and is still stuck in my mind. Me and my friends often like to be in the outdoors. I'll refer to my friends as John and Anthony. We were bored and decided to go fishing deep in the woods near some farmland. We were chased out by a farmer and his dog. We tried to hide, but his dog found us and he threatened to call the police, even though he was already on the phone with his friend.
And that's another thing that me and Reagan used to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, bro, it was this, I remember like, I can see it right now, y'all, bro. It was this freaking farmer. Y'all know farmers, bro, they got these little crops and everything, bro. You're not supposed to be in the field. We could have got shot for that, bro. We all through this man freaking like land, bro. That's what I'm saying. I started thinking, I'm like, bro, we could have got shot, bro. We all through this man land. Destroying his bro, I'm talking about like destroying everything, bro. Thank God, bro. God knew we didn't know what the freak we was doing. We was just out living, bro. I'm talking about living. Didn't give a dang about the consequences. We didn't even think it was consequences for it. That's how kids were. That's how we were. We weren't dumb kids, but bro, we just didn't give a F, bro. Like, me and bro just did not give a F. Like, I put it like for real. We'd be in your backyard like it's our yard. Promise you. Playing in your backyard. Like, we didn't give a F, bro. If you seen us or not. You feel me? But I ain't gonna lie, we were gangsta. I'm gonna keep it G with you, but that just brought my mind up. I'm like, bro, I get through so much stuff with that nigga, bro. I hear about farm. I'm like, bro, me and this man was literally on a man land, like a farmer's man land. Crazy.
His dog found us and he threatened to call the police, even though he was already on the phone with his friend, which we found weird. Honestly, we kind of found it funny. So for whatever reason, we thought it would be a good idea to go back the next day and sneak onto the property to explore it. It was nearing about an hour before dark. This property was huge, acres upon acres.
Malicious niggas.
Some deep woods, similar to the one we had been fishing in before. Although we scoped it out on Google Maps, it was still easy to get lost. I remember thinking to myself that we should be out of there before dark. At first, everything seemed normal, and I wasn't getting any bad gut feelings. We were admiring the horses and petting them. I remember thinking it was weird having all this farmland and only horses. I compared it in my head to my uncle's farm, which is a lot smaller, but has about 10 different types of animals.
I mean, bro, I seen that. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely seen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Farmers just have horses. I ain't gonna lie. I seen some farmers just have cows. I've definitely seen it, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've seen it plenty of times, no cap. It ain't weird, bro.
Just one. I just brushed it off and thought that maybe the owner specialized in horses.
I've definitely seen it,
Walking through the woods, we reached the fence bordering the property. John was leading the way, I was in the middle, and Anthony was behind us. This is when we stumbled upon a rundown house with multiple trophy cars and a broken down RV. We were shocked at the discovery and snuck around some of the cars. There was also a very creepy rundown shed. It was crazy to see. I even took this video.
Fucking Corvette. Raptor. Bentley. Holy shit.
There were multiple Porsches, Range Rovers, Ford Raptors, Bentley sports cars, Corvettes, and Ferraris.
Shoot.
The deeper we got and the more cars we saw, we realized we probably shouldn't be seeing this, since some of the cars were parted out. We suspected it was probably a criminal ring stealing cars.
Yeah, for sure.
After we had seen all the cars, John decided it was a good idea to explore the inside of the camper while Anthony kept lookout. I held the door open for John since he's kind of the smallest, so I thought he would be best suited to explore it. There was evidence somebody was living there, fishing rods, fresh food, bedding, and other stuff. Although the camper was run down, we understood it was somebody's home, so we got out of there. I forgot to mention there were also car tires inside. We were not there to break or destroy anything, just look around. We snuck around to the back of the property where all the cars were. There were side-by-sides, and we made the connection that they were probably used to run the property. There was also a rundown shed, and when we went inside the back of it, we caught a foul, horrible smell. We kind of just brushed it off and laughed, joking that maybe it could be a body. None of us really believed it though. Then we heard the gate at the entrance of the property open and slam. It was about 1,000 feet away. We were heading back to the woodline because we didn't want anyone to see us, and that's when a van turned onto the street we were on. It was nearing dusk and the headlights were on, so we sprinted through the woods, not sure if he saw us. This is when we probably should have left, but we decided to explore the other side of the property. After walking along the outskirts and hiking through more woods, there were a lot more horses, but we finally got to the main house of the property. Again, it seemed very run down. About 25 feet to the right was another camper, or at least what looked like a camper. It was massive, about 50 feet long, and probably hadn't moved in 50 years. We almost missed it because it was completely covered in vines. Right next to it was another rundown jet ski, also covered in vines. We managed to get the door open, but didn't want to make too much noise since we were so close to the main house. Even though it seemed abandoned, we wanted to be cautious, not just because we were trespassing, but because there was similar suspicious stuff on both ends of the property, which I could only assume was connected to the car stealing ring. I knew if we were caught, it would be a problem. We snuck around the house and saw what was probably the most luxurious car on the property.
You smelling his
Although it
balls?
was run down and old, it was still an amazing sports car, a Ferrari. I didn't get a picture or video since we were still near the main house and the horses were making a lot of noise. We got sketched out on the far end of the property. There was a boat and cooler inside a fridge. John looked around the boat, and the cooler was about 15 feet into some very thick vegetation. We joked about the probability of a body being in there.
Keep talking about a
At this
body.
point, the mood was still kind of jokey because we were exploring something we weren't supposed to see. When we got closer to the freezer, another terrible smell came.
That nigga got
Like the smell
bodies.
of death.
Smell of death. That nigga got death. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, we're on the serial killer's land. You know what I'm saying? That right there would have just went through my that right there would have went through my mind right there. We gotta get the freak out of here. You know what I mean? Gotta get the freak out of here immediately. I say immediately. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. First smell, first sense of smell, smell like a body. You need to get out of here immediately. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, man. Gotta get the freak up out of here, man. But man, y'all look like y'all older though. Like I seen the video, y'all look like y'all like 17. Y'all 17 doing this. You know, nigga, I was in 8th grade doing, me and Reagan, 8th, 7th grade. We was some little shorties. We was shorties. Y'all should know better. I wasn't doing that at 17. Y'all look like y'all was at least 17, 18. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't trespassing 17, 18 because I knew then, like, okay, shoot, if a nigga kill me on his land, shoot, a nigga could say I was doing anything, bro, not just be a body. You feel me? Who was there to say? Nigga can kill you on this land, boom, yeah, man, I seen the nigga, man. He was trying to rob me, man, you know what I mean? Fear for my life. You know, whole time, the case go unsolved. Whole time, I was just playing around, joking around. Bro, see me on the freaking, could run into a nigga like this. You feel me? Bro, see me on this land, bah, bah, bah. You feel me? But that's something that we was doing when I was younger, man. We like, 13, man, 12 years old doing that. You feel me? I wasn't doing that when I was like 16, 17, 18, heck no.
We decided
I knew the
not to,
consequences that came with trespassing, man.
assuming the worst, and didn't want to open it in case
some
there was
time.
something we really didn't want to see in there.
The worst in the
We
show.
got a bad vibe, and we were on our way back when Anthony started hearing things. We paused and listened with him, and we heard the noises too. I can't really describe them. I don't know if they were just normal wood noises or if everything just seemed amplified because we were paranoid. The vegetation was about head high, and there was a rock that each of us took turns standing on to get a better view of the property. When John went up there, we were still laughing and joking. Then he turned to us, looking like he had just seen a ghost. He wouldn't speak, so I decided to get on the rock and look for myself. What I saw is seared into my brain. Over the vegetation, I saw a man sitting at a table with a black cat. That wasn't the scary part. When I looked at his face, there was no hair, no eyes, no mouth,
What?
no nose, no facial features at all.
This nigga right here. Stop the cap. Stop the cap, nigga.
Cat. That wasn't the scary part. When
And
I
you
looked
ain't
at
record this? You ain't record this, bro? Bro, you should have recorded that, bro. Tell me you ain't record this.
sitting at a table with a black cat. That wasn't the scary part. When I looked at his face, there was no hair, no eyes, no mouth, no nose, no facial features at all. You can call me crazy, but I know what I saw. We were about 50 feet away, and it felt like the man was staring at us, but we genuinely couldn't see his eyes since he had no features. There was also a woman with him who made direct eye contact with me.
For real?
And that was the moment she started running in a direction to cut us off from the property. I don't know if the man's featureless face was real, or if he had white medical tape or bandages covering it. I still can't decide. But his face was pure white, and his head was very small. I still can't get it out of my head. After that, it was still dark, and we had a long hike through the woods to get back to where we came from.
Heck no.
We felt as if we were being followed almost the whole way, and we almost took a route that was 2 miles out just to get away.
If ever we gonna take them 2 miles out then. You know what I mean? If I feel like in my gut, I'm being followed, yeah, we're gonna take these 2 miles. We're gonna take these 2 miles. We can walk these 2 miles right here. Cause you gotta understand, if a nigga scared, man, I don't get tired. I ain't gonna lie, I have unlimited endurance when I'm scared. I promise you, bro. I do not get tired, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I feel like, bro, I can run a mile straight, bro. Like, if I'm, like, scared, y'all probably like, bro, this man capping. I'm telling you. Bro, it's something about me, bro. When I'm scared, gang, I can run to the death. And I do not get tired. I swear. I'm already in shape. So imagine, I'm already in shape. But, bro, if I get scared, bro, man, I could be the next track star. I'm telling you. I could be the next track star. I can run a mile straight. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
There were weird noises like stomping feet, galloping, and screams. We tried to be quiet through the woods, but also tried to move quickly. We ended up making it back and made sure we weren't followed. I genuinely still don't know what that was, or if it was human, but I can't get this experience out of my head, and I know none of us will ever go back.
I ain't never heard no ish like that in my life. Come on, a nigga ain't had no hair, no face, no mouth.
I went to a quarry in McKinney, Texas,
Type of
and
stuff
I
you
will never go
on,
back
boy.
there again after what
Must be
happened
smoking on some good dopey dog. I ain't saying I don't believe you though.
to me. Here is a little backstory so this
Weird
would make
ish happens.
sense. The first
Right.
time I went to this quarry, it was pretty sketchy. Me and a couple of my friends, Josh and Miles, went to this quarry for cliff jumping, since we had seen some YouTube videos of people cliff jumping at it, and we found out that it was only about a half hour away from where we lived. Both Miles and I are old enough to drive, me being 16 and Miles being 17, so we thought that it would be a really good idea to go. Once we got to the quarry, it had a really sketchy vibe to it. There was a small dirt road that led up to the quarry, which made a circle around it. To the left were these ghetto-looking white buildings, which were pretty much just white metal boxes, and to the right was the fence that surrounded the rock path that led to the quarry. We drove down this road in Miles' Jeep, and there were tons of signs saying stuff like no trespassing or warning blasting zone. And there was even this big white piece of cardboard that read, "Trespassers will be shot on sight."
See what I'm saying? See that right there, we wasn't stupid. Now I mean, like we would have seen that, then we ain't stupid. All trespassers will be shot on sight. I'm good then. You know what I'm saying? I'm good then, bro. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't that dumb when we was little. We were bad now. We wasn't that dumb though.
And there was even this big white piece of cardboard that read, "Trespassers will be shot on sight." It's important to note that in Texas, people can legally shoot you if you're on their property, but it just doesn't really happen much. We decided to drive back to the beginning of
That's
the road
crazy.
where there was this gravel parking lot by an
Bro, I
old
didn't even know that, bro. I be trying to tell y'all down south, bro. Y'all better know them laws, bro. Cause even in Georgia, bro, like in Georgia, you break into my house. That's what I'm saying. Me being a gun owner, I don't be like worried about that junk at all, like a nigga breaking into my house. One thing I like about my neighborhood is I'm deep in my neighborhood. You feel me? Like I never want to be like like in front of the neighborhood, like where everybody know you, like in the front of the entrance. Like they built some new houses in my neighborhood, but you got folks that's in front of the entrance. Like you the first one you the first house they see, you just right there. Heck no. I don't like that. So that's one thing I like, that we're very deep in our neighborhood. So if you trying to look for my house gang, you gonna have to do some very deep searching. Gonna do some deep searching. You feel me? I'm deep. You feel me? But heck yeah though, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't be worried about, bro, nobody, you feel me, coming to my crib. You feel me? Cause Georgia, bro, I could kill you legally, bro. You come up in here and I ain't gonna feel bad, bro, about killing a nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm one of them niggas that gonna shoot you, bro. I'm gonna keep it G. I'm not out here killing no niggas. I'm not finna act like I'm just out here sliding on niggas and all that. But try to break up in my house, I'm looking at it like, okay, you trying to kill me, gang. Cause what you coming up in here for? I'm not looking at it, oh, you just trying to take things, okay. I know you're just trying to take. Now I'm looking at you like you trying to kill me, bro. Cause niggas done killed niggas before. Oh, for just trying to rob him. You realize niggas out here done killed niggas for their stuff. You killed him over his stuff? So for me, bro, I take it like that. I'm shooting first. I'm not asking questions later. I'm gonna forget all about you. Matter of fact, probably go to Waffle House and eat a little celebration breakfast or something. Now catching my first body. You feel me? But I ain't gonna feel sorry for you, bro. That's all I be trying to tell y'all. You trying to go in kicking doors? You better kick in the right door. Better make sure. Tell you kicking this door, but you grass, bro. I'm telling you, grass.
Building, which looked like it hadn't been touched in years.
Better have multiple shots too. You better have shots. You know what I'm saying? You better be prepared to die. Tell you, I'm prepared to kill.
Miles parked the car.
Better be prepared to shoot.
We got out of the car and began our walk to the quarry.
While
we were walking, a truck drove right past us, and the driver just kind of looked at us with a blank expression on his face. Honestly, it was pretty scary when the car passed us, but the fact that he didn't do anything made us think maybe they don't care too much if we're on their property.
I mean, bro, that's on you, bro. You got a warning. You feel me? And I feel like every time somebody die, you got people that die by natural causes, but I'm talking about things like this. Like, I feel like God gives us warnings before we die. If that's not the biggest warning, then I don't know what the freak is. You got in a big white nigga, all trespass, no trespassers. If you trespass, you will be shot on sight. If that's not a warning, nigga, I don't know what is. And then when you get shot, nigga, your mama gonna be crying like a little, she your mama, so she supposed to do what she supposed to do. Then your mama gonna be crying, he's a good kid, but just gave him a warning, mama. Said, all trespassers, you will get shot. You know you in Texas. Them niggas can kill you if you're on their property. Hey.
Kept on walking, and then we came to the fence where we were supposed to jump to get onto the rock path that led to the quarry. We went to the smallest cliff jumping spot first, and saw a pretty big snake swimming in the water after the first 10 minutes of being there, so we decided to wander further down the quarry where we saw a decent sized cliff, about 35 feet. After depth checking it, we spent about an hour cliff jumping there before we got bored and moved on to the next cliff. We were at the very end of the quarry, and we were walking down a path to get to a bigger spot when we saw a black Hummer stop. The lady in the Hummer was probably in her mid-30s. She rolled down the window and yelled, "What the f*** are you doing on my property?" It honestly kind of shocked us all, and I responded with saying in an innocent voice, "What do you mean? We thought this was public property." She knew we were lying straight to her face and yelled at us some more. Then she said something that I'll never forget. She picked up her phone and said, "John, get the gun." Me, Miles, and Josh all froze. We were scared to death.
Why y'all freezing? Why y'all freezing, folks? To my John, get the gun. He told they all froze to death. Now don't freeze to death now. You seen that sign when you went on the folks' land. Don't get scared now. You know what I'm saying? Said, "John, get the gun." Thought she was finna be on some, "It's all right, babies." That lady got the phone. "John, get the gun." Oh, shoot. Talking about we just froze to death. No.
Then she said something.
She finna slump some, John, and her finna slump some.
That I'll never forget. She picked up her phone and said, "John, get the gun." Me, Miles, and Josh all froze. We were scared to death. She said to follow her and drove slowly down the path about 20 feet to a gate.
Who said follow who? Well, you got your dame mind think I'm finna follow you. My one said, John, get the gun. Oh, nigga. What are you talking about? Tell me I follow you. Oh, you call John, but John gonna have to use the gun. John is gonna have to use the gun. You talking about follow you up. Man, wish one of my homies, that's like me being with Key and Quan. You feel me? She tell, yo, go get the gun. I'm finna leave Key and Quan. I don't give a dang what they do. I know I ain't finna follow. You know what I'm saying? All that, John, get the gun. Shoot, you follow me. Shoot. In the 4-2 flat that way, John gonna have to use the gun. You feel me? Straight like that. Key and Quan can follow them. They some dead man walking. Better follow behind me. He think I'm finna follow somebody. We said, John, get the gun. And then you talking about follow you, nigga, please. So you little jackasses fell off. You follow her, excuse me. So you telling me y'all jackasses followed her?
Gun.
She told you to follow her and you followed her? She said get the gun and you followed her. But you don't know who these people is? People could be some serial killers.
Me, Miles, and Josh all froze.
Shoot you broad day.
Death. She said
and then make up a story saying, oh yeah, that was on our land, that was trying to rob it. You don't know these people y'all dealing with, man.
Follow her and drove slowly down the path about 20 feet to a gate. We decided to follow her. We were all saying that we were so sorry and that we would never come back again, and she let us go after saying the cops are on their way, so you better haul ass that way before they get here, and pointed towards the dirt path that led us away from her property.
Oh, she cool? She cool?
We told her thank you and ran faster than any of us thought we could. Then we got in the Jeep and drove away.
Oh, she cool.
I wish this was the end of the story, but it isn't.
Oh, John got the gun.
A couple of months later, Miles asked me if I would ever go to the quarry again, and I reluctantly told him that if we had a bigger group together, then I would go.
Y'all folks just don't learn, bro. You got 2 warnings. You got a sign, and then she let you go, bro. Now you still trying to go back to the quarry? I'm gonna keep it real, bro. You deserve to die now. I don't even say that about him, but that you deserve to die. You deserve to catch some bullets. You got that one warning, then you got another one. Now you going back to the quarry again? Nigga, just don't learn. So somebody got to get the bullets. John got to put them bullets. John's gonna have to use the gun.
We got a group of 5 together and went back to the quarry in my car. I drove, and after about an hour, we arrived at a church which we would be parking at, which was about 2 minutes away from the quarry. We didn't want the lady somehow seeing our car and getting our license plate number. We walked down the dirt road that led to the quarry and passed by a few cars. One car stopped next to us, and a guy who was probably in his early 20s told us to watch out for a black Hummer. We laughed and told him the story of what happened the first time that we went to the quarry, and then we were back to walking down the dirt road. We jumped the fence that surrounded the quarry and decided we would just go to the second spot so that we would at least be a tiny bit out of sight of the dirt road.
That's a third warning, Chad. That's a third warning you just got. You got a third warning, bro. That don't even happen, bro. You usually is first strike, second strike, third strike, you out. Hey, yeah, usually how it is. First strike, second strike, third strike, you out, gang. But you got 3 strikes. You got 3 warnings. Watch out for that black Hummer. Nigga, the Hummer you just seen?
We were at the spot for about an hour and having fun when a silver van pulls up at the end of the dirt road about 25 yards away.
There goes
It wasn't the
Sean!
black Hummer, so we weren't running away just yet, but we were getting our stuff ready in case we had to run. It was for the most part out of our sight due to trees being in between us and the van. We waited there for about a minute and thought that the guy was just doing something in the car when we heard 2 loud gunshots really close to us. The gunshots scared us half to death. The exit of the quarry was not very close, probably about 300 yards, and about 125 yards to get on the main dirt road which led off the property. I led the way, with my friend Aiden trailing not far behind me. I heard more gunshots about 40 yards away, and it sounded like he had shot about 8 shots so far, but when I looked back, I couldn't see the guy who was shooting at us. We got to the fence and jumped it, and we were now on the main dirt road that led to the exit. Out of pure luck, the guy we had talked to earlier, who had warned us about the black Hummer, was in his white truck on the dirt road. We begged him for a ride, and he gave us a ride back to the end of the property. We thanked him and then ran back to the car. We all got in the car and drove away, never to see that quarry again.
Nigga finna rip your head off. That was John. I know that was John. John came out and
Back in
finna bust heads
2018,
open.
my cousin Ryan and I were really into urban exploration. We had been to old factories, shuttered schools, and forgotten farmhouses that looked like they were one good windstorm away from collapsing. We were not stupid about it. We checked floors before walking on them, wearing masks where there might be asbestos, and avoided any place that seemed like it might be actively guarded. Still, there was one place we'd been talking about for months that neither of us had worked up the nerve to try. The big abandoned house on the shore of Lake Harlow. It was the kind of property you only ever saw from a distance, sitting far back from the main road behind a set of tall iron gates that had been bent inward years ago. Pines and brush had grown wild around the driveway, hiding most of the place unless you caught a glimpse through the trees while driving past. Local rumors about the place were endless. The most common story was that a wealthy family had lived there in the 90s before suddenly disappearing. People claimed they'd left in the middle of the night without taking anything. Furniture, clothes, dishes, even family photos were supposedly still inside. Theories ranged from financial ruin to witness protection to something even darker. No one had ever bought it afterward, and the property had just sat there decaying for more than 2 decades. The afternoon we went, the weather was gray and still. We parked at a hiking trailhead about a half mile from the property, and we walked in through the woods to avoid being seen from the road. As we got closer, the roofline appeared through the trees, and I realized just how big the place really was. 3 stories with tall windows and a wide wraparound porch, all in various stages of rot. Paint peeled off in long strips like sunburned skin, and sections of the porch sagged inward. We circled around to the back, moving quietly in case there was anyone nearby. The back door was unlocked, and the moment we stepped inside, the air changed. The air was still and smelled faintly of lake water and dust. The kitchen was the first thing we saw. It looked like a movie set frozen in time. Plates were stacked neatly on the counter, and a coffee cup with a brown ring of dried residue sat beside the sink. The cabinet stood open, showing old boxes of food that were long expired. A faded calendar on the wall still hung open to May 1997.
Crazy.
We moved through the downstairs slowly. The living room still had furniture draped in yellowed sheets. The fireplace was still filled with crumbling ash, like the last fire had burned out decades ago. Family photos were hung in the hallway, with people smiling at barbecues and dressed up for Christmas. Honestly, I got the chills for some reason as I looked at these photos. There was something eerie about seeing cheery family photos in a long-abandoned house. Some of the photos had sun-faded so badly that their faces were almost ghostly white. Upstairs is where things started to feel off. The first bedroom we entered had a perfectly made bed, but all the dresser drawers were open and completely empty. Another room's floor was entirely covered with newspapers from 1997, each one folded open to the classified ads section. I didn't think much of it until I noticed the dates. They were all from within the same week in July, and every circled ad was for private buyers looking for quiet transactions. The master bedroom was the strangest. The heavy curtains were drawn shut, but when I pulled them back, I found the windows had been boarded over from the inside. The closet door had a rusted padlock on it, and the floor in front of it was scratched, as if someone had tried to drag something heavy out but couldn't. Ryan wanted to force it open, but I talked him out of it. We didn't have tools, and I wasn't eager to break something in a place where we weren't supposed to be. He suggested we check the basement before leaving. The basement door was in a narrow hallway off the kitchen. When we opened it, a wave of damp, cool air came up that smelled strongly of mildew. The
Mildew.
stairs were wooden. Each step down creaked like it might give way under us. The basement was big, with thick stone walls and wooden shelves along one side. Most were empty, except for a few rusted cans and a broken lantern. But in the center of the room, illuminated in our flashlight beams, were 5 chairs, all mismatched and old, but arranged in a perfect circle.
A freak?
Unlike everything else in the house, they weren't dusty. The seats looked recently used.
Oh,
I
shoot.
was about to whisper something to Ryan when we both froze. Somewhere above us, a door closed.
What?
The sound was clear as day, and it was followed by footsteps crossing the floor above. We killed our lights instantly and stood in the dark, barely breathing. The footsteps paused, then started again, moving toward the hallway above the basement. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. We hadn't seen any cars outside. We hadn't heard anyone else since we got here. Whoever was up there hadn't made a sound until now. The footsteps stopped again, this time directly above the basement door. Then, the sound of the door handle rattling made my blood run cold. Ryan grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the far end of the basement where a small ground-level window sat broken and half covered by a rotting shutter. It was barely big enough to fit through, but we didn't care. I went first, scraping my jacket on the glass, dropping down into damp dirt outside. Ryan was right behind me. We sprinted into the tree line, not daring to look back until we were well into the woods. When I finally did glance over my shoulder, I saw the basement door wide open and someone standing in it. They were too far away to make out any details, just tall and still. And it looked like their head was tilted slightly, like they were watching us. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. Both of us were so disturbed that we barely even spoke on the car ride home. That night I just kept replaying it in my head. Everything from the chairs, to the footsteps, to the locked closet, and then that horrifying image of that figure on the porch. So a couple weeks later, Ryan called me and told me that after he made a post in a Facebook group asking if anyone knows about the history of that house, an older guy responded to his post saying that there have been sightings of someone in that house, and the first guess would of course be a squatter. However, that wouldn't explain the strange, almost ritualistic looking circle of chairs in the basement. At this point, it's not my problem to worry about. I'm just happy we got out of there in one piece.
Tell y'all, man. Yeah, man, you just never know, man. I'll be trying to tell y'all, man, just, man, all that urban exploring, you know what I'm saying? Cave exploring with all that, man. F that, man. You feel me? I'm cool, bro, doing all that. I ain't never thought about going urban exploring ever, bro. I'll go with a group of people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll go with a group of people, but just 2 people ain't enough, you know what I'm saying? But a group of people, I'll slide, you know? But yeah, that was crazy right there, man. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell like a video if y'all want to go see all my scare reactions. It is in the playlist section over yonder, man. You know what I'm saying? I will be live streaming on Twitch, bro, so if y'all want to come check me out, link in the description down below. It's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy. Before you end up life easy, man. Your boy Jay out, man. Yeah.